Okay, let's try this again. I recorded this once, but I feel like I was too rushed. I had the generator on as well, which was taking some of the bassier notes out of my voice, and who wants that? Anyway, I just wanted to share a few paintings with you. I've been told by a few friends whilst I've been out on the street trying to sell my artwork that I should put it online for people to see. I shall try my best to capture the best likeness of the image with my one little spotlight. You see, if I stand back here, it's quite dark, so there's a sweet spot. I shall try my best to keep the glare down and to give you some of my art. So at the start I did it in a particular order, so yeah, let's do that again. I quite liked the way that worked. So this first series, I suppose, of four paintings. It was originally 5. One of them sold, which is quite nice. This is probably the longest in the making. It took maybe about a year and a half to actually complete from start to finish. Not a year and a half worth of work, but a year and a half of deliberation. So this one is called Enrage. So called because of its fiery nature, its bold, I guess, angry lines. But it's complex in a way that I'm not used to portraying on canvas. And it just felt like anger was the best emotion to put towards it. I wasn't feeling very angry whilst I did it. But I guess engage is close to the word enrage. So Enrage felt like a good title. Engaging with anger, I'm not too sure. But anyway, Enrage. The next, if I can get my words together, the next one is called Avast. Now this one, again, was quite a long time in the making. I'm not sure quite how long, because this was started by somebody else. So it's technically a collaboration. I found this in a caravan that was dumped on the Drove, as well as a few other personal effects, which I still have. So Ian Plumpton, we did try contacting you at one point. If you see this video, you made part of this. And also I have some pictures and IDs and things that you might want. Yeah, you can see it has a kind of nautical aesthetic to it. When I got it, this bit was all blue and this bit was yellow. I spent a bit of time, see if we can get that there. Yeah, there you go. A bit of time with some felt tip pens marking out until I decided I was going to paint over it. And it was quite dark until I applied these more bold lines. And in person you can kind of see where the original painting was, how that looks. You can see the texture of the canvas through it, where these bold lines aren't applied. See if you can, yeah, you can sort of see that anyway. Yeah, it had a sort of nautical kind of watery flowing vibe to it, and maybe a bit of a ship somewhere. I think the ship disappeared as I started painting on it, but at one point there was a part that looked like a ship. So I feel Avast is a fitting title. There you go. The third one in this mini-series, this dark series, it's a bit different from the other two. There she is. And it looks a bit darker in real life. Sort of very kind of matte finish to these acrylic paints. So this one's called O Work. Why? I don't know. It just seemed like an appropriate title, given that it looks like an R. Yeah, this one didn't take as long as the other ones in terms of actual painting, but I did spend a while between painting sessions, let's say. It sat there whilst I was doing these other ones, staring at me until I had the confidence to add more. Because it started out with very bold bold lines, these orange bits, and then just added little bits here and there to sort of accentuate the already existing flow of the shapes that I'd applied. And this one was on a black canvas as well, which saves it a bit of priming. But yeah, I quite like this one. It's one of the more visually striking, with the angles and the flow of everything. It's difficult to get a good balance between angular lines and flowy, rounded shapes. And I think I balanced the colours quite well in this one as well. That's always something that's quite difficult, as well as the physical balance. So I'll try and get some good pictures of these online as well, and maybe get some prints going, I'm not sure. The fourth one, there were 5 in this original series, but one of them sold. I might have already mentioned that, I can't remember. This one is called Unkempt. I saw myself in the mirror when I named this one, and I identify quite a lot with this picture. There's a lot of inferred detail, mostly in the background, and then a few bold accentuating lines to kind of make everything pop. I quite like how this one came out. As well as O work, this one took a few moments to build up the courage to actually add more lines. It's very easy to overpaint something like this or overwork it. Oh, perhaps that's why I called it O work. Overwork. Don't overwork. Yeah, I quite like this one as well. It's a sort of painting you'd want to chop up into little portions and sell individual prints. Yeah, there you go, O work. And again, there's no particular direction these are supposed to go. I do sign them in a corner occasionally. I'm going to endeavour to sign them on the back rather than the front, just so whoever has it displayed can put it whatever way they want to. Now, there was an intermediary painting that went along with these two. It was much brighter, but with the same colours, only without the black. It was white, and the actual physical look of it was very different. It was a very different process to how I painted it, but with the same colours. So that one wasn't titled, but these ones I made for a fellow I met in the street. I'm yet to meet him again, but when I see him, they're his. And this is a diptych for Jan. So if you see this Jan, these are for you. They look a bit darker in real life. They look kind of matte and grey with this light, but see if we can get the colours in there. Yeah, sort of. No, we can't really get the colours showing there. Sort of a deep purple and a kind of mustardy yellow. I think that's a bit better actually. You can see the shininess of the paint kind of takes away the depth of the colour. Yeah. Diptych for Jan. You can see how they're paired to each other. I'll let you figure out how I did that. But as you can see, they are both unique, both individual, very much of the same ilk. Like twins. Speaking of twins, this is a pair that I'm quite proud of. I didn't quite like them as I was doing them. Once they dried and once they set, they grew on me. And, to give some context, these were created after about 20 hours of lying down, contemplating and deliberating and thinking, well, why am I being so lazy? And it wasn't laziness, I was processing. And after that processing had been completed, after I'd done being lazy, we got these, which I aptly named Contemplation and Deliberation. Oh, that's the first time I've displayed them without the weird spot on the same angle. Maybe that's how they're supposed to go. I like how the dynamics flows differently for those. Yeah, this one, Deliberation. If I hold it at the right angle, you can kind of see the texture of the paint I started applying very thickly. There you go. See that shimmering across. Oh, try not to break them. This one is, yes, Deliberation. I like this one. It kind of looks like a devious face with two nostrils, and again you can see the thickness of the paint. Yeah, I quite like these ones. I'm surprised these ones haven't sold yet. But I can only sell them as a duo. There's no way I could separate them. So, this one is from a series I haven't completed yet, but people tell me it's done. So I'll let you see what you think. This one's called Wort. W-O-R-T. See if we can get the colours to pop there. It looks quite subdued on camera, but this red and this blue are quite, there you go, they're quite bright. Yeah, so I feel like it needs more detail in these parts. But I appreciate how it looks as if you are exiting a cave of some sort, with vines or some alien creature standing there. Again, it can go any way, any particular orientation. Although I think that one maybe looks the best. Yeah, called What? What's it what? Who knows? And then these three are done on poster board. Poster board? I think it's called poster board. Yeah, these are picked up outside the assembly rooms. Yes. So which one did I do first? I think this one was the first because I used the paint from this to paint the other ones. Yeah, so this one is called Outer Signals. Again, the colours are so subdued on that. Try my best to capture the colour as well as the detail. You can see there's some oriental looking scribbles on there. They don't mean anything. They're just fun to draw. Sort of alien hieroglyphs, alien symbols. I can't remember the particular name for that kind of pictographic representation of meaning. There you go, that's a bit better on the colour. Again, you can see how thick the paint's applied. And, quite like this one, Outer Signals. Yeah. So, with the paint from that one, I think maybe a few other ones. This was maybe the paint from Contemplation, Deliberation, actually. We have this little one. This one's called Undefined. Again, I quite like this one. Very simple, very, very quick, but very effective. Excuse me. But again, trying to find the right angle for colour. There's a little bit of this one over here stuck to that painting. I should actually, that one came after Contemplation and Deliberation. It's interesting. That one's called Action. I'll show you that one in a minute. That's probably one of my favourite. I'll be gutted when I sell that one. But this one was part of this last trio called Never the Same. Again, another quick one, but effective nonetheless. Try and get some detail in there for you. I like these quick dynamic ones. It's very cathartic, very freeing. But it takes some guts, which I haven't had for a while. Just why the previous paintings were quite delicate, let's say, very thought out. I was trying to reach perfection of some sense, whereas with these ones, I guess I'm trying to distract from perfection. They don't have to be perfect as long as they evoke an emotional response, right? So, speaking of which, again, subdues the colours. Try my best to, there you go, kind of. It looks a bit more blue than it does in real life. This one's called Action. because of its, well, it looks like action, I suppose, and, well, I did it after the contemplation and deliberation, which then resulted in action. So I feel like it's quite poetic too. Again, you can see the thickness of the paint there. I think it was about, where was it? The place where another painting stuck to it. Oh yeah, just about there. Let's see, that matches up with the thicker splodges of green on this one. So if you're a collector, you need both of them and stick them together. Yeah, you can see just how thick this paint is. Yeah, this one took ages to dry, but very little time to do actually. But I like how bold and dynamic it is. Yeah, action. And we'll save that one for a different date. I'm not sure if that's done or not. I painted that with leftovers from this one. Now, this one's quite large. I'll try and get it in frame. Oh, what did I call this one first? I still don't have a name for it. This one is rather big, rather bold, and is definitely a piece of my soul. This one didn't take much physical effort, but my God, did it take a lot of mental effort to deal with the subject matter. There's some very deeply set emotions coming out in this one. From a few different angles. You can see some parts are a lot more refined, some parts I like more than others. A lot of the painting I don't actually like, but I know that this is complete. This is how it's going to stay. I don't think it needs any more. Other people don't think it needs any more either. This was kind of a turning point in my artwork. This is where I learned that emotion comes through when you do something actually daring. So maybe I will show this other one, but I don't feel like this is complete. But who knows? Somebody might just fall right in love with this. And obviously I don't have a name for it because I don't think it's complete. But I'll try and get that through the light so you can see every part of it. But this one's quite big. I found this canvas. But yeah, if that's up your street, message me, because I don't want it in my caravan anymore. And I'll get it to you for a fee, obviously. So I'll put that back there to cover up my vegetables. And I guess I shall show you some sketches that I was working on whilst I was back home this most recent time. So at the end of last month, start of this month, I was back home for about a week, and in that week I did some sketches. I didn't have any other materials with me per se, so I used the charcoal and graphite that my parents graciously bought for me. Try and get you the names of these before I show them. This one is called Basque. This one was done with charcoal, and I've sprayed these down as well to try and keep the charcoal from smudging, although it smudged quite a bit before I got to spraying it. This next one called Envelope, envelope or envelope, however you want to pronounce it. I quite like the detail that this one alludes to, the depth of whatever environment this is. It gives me Osmosis Jones vibes, or a futuristic city of some sort. Lanes and cars, or arteries and blood vessels, perhaps houses, perhaps cells, who knows. Again, another very organic one. What's this one called? This one's called Indulge. Indulge in what? I don't know. Indulge in your baser instincts? Maybe don't try that unless it involves a pencil and paper. And then indulge all you like. Yeah, this one's a bit more detailed than the last one in terms of line work. Looks a bit more zoomed out, I suppose. Definitely with the same subject matter to some degree. So, what's next? Yes, I want to indulge. This one. This is one of two that don't have a name because I drew on the back of it. I don't have space to write a name. So if you can come up with a name for these next two, then I'm all ears. Best name wins, I suppose. This, again, of the similar ilk. I was going to try and give you a name then, but it doesn't have one. I think I was trying to be a bit more dark with some of these lines. Try and have a bit more dynamic range. But I noticed it didn't actually give me any more depth. There's other ways to get depth. It looks more shadowy, perhaps. But I don't think I quite caught what I was trying to with this one. Although I do like the detail. There is a lot more actual, real bona fide detail in there. Like these little structures back there, sort of give it a little bit of depth. And then this one, which is total opposite in how I was approaching detail. Almost looks like a control panel of some alien ship. Or perhaps a doorway opening up. Some strange creature with a big belly and a belly button. Yeah, if you can come up with a name for those two, then like I said, I'm all ears. And this one, I think I do more work, or perhaps less work. But this one's called White Space because my mum told me that I should use more white space. So looks a bit bubbly. I guess I like it. Looks all right. I guess I'm not comfortable with the white space, but yeah, I'm sure somebody will like it somewhere. That's White Space, and that's the one we just showed. This one, again, has no name, although there is space to name it. I quite like this one. It's a bit more dynamic with how the lines flow. Yeah, I quite like how the white space is captured. Although I feel like it could do with a bit more work just to give it some depth. A few lines in here, very light, sort of take you back here a little bit. I particularly like this part here and these bold, dark organs of some sort. As you can see, they're all of the same subject matter to some degree. Of exactly what that is, I'm not sure. Some cosmic goop. And then this one is unfinished, so again, untitled. You can see I'm trying to incorporate the lessons of all of those different ones into that. Some darker lines, some finer kind of detailed bits, and some more white space that I was going to leave. I should probably finish that one, but I don't have any pencils with me. So I'll be finishing that one when I go back home. Hopefully to catalogue some more artwork. So yeah, I think that's... and this quick scribble that I did with some chalks. I'm going to go over that with pencil when I'm back home as well. Cool, so that's that little sketchbook. There's a few more things I want to share. Namely, this one. This one isn't from this collection. Every piece that I've showed you so far is maybe from the last month and a half. This one was from last year, like over Christmas. I did this whilst watching film Oppenheimer. So I think I might name this one Nucleus. I like how this one took shape. It took a while before I was comfortable, and then a few final touches really made it. Get some detail involved there. Slowly move that up. Again, I'll try and get some better pictures of these for you. You can see the date there, 1st of the 4th. 1st, 2024. I don't put the day that I complete these on because I never remember. So I just put the month roughly. Sometimes it's then the next month that I date it because I forget to date them, but I always like to date the paintings so I can have kind of a visual record of where I am. There's always some psychological thing attached to the paintings, so it's nice to have that record. It's like journaling in a way. I'll always remember what I was watching or where I was and how I was feeling whilst I was doing them, so it's kind of nice to have that captured. And then I guess quickly I shall these. So these were three paintings, 3 pictures, 4 pictures. Probably won't show that one. I did these whilst I was back home at Christmas. Yeah, I quite like these. It took some time. This was me really trying to find some patience with my art. They're only about A5. This one's called Things to Come. See if you can get that without desaturating the colours, man. Come on. Alright, I'll have to get some good quality scans of these. But yeah, very busy, but took some time to sort of build up, maybe 2 or 3 days with felt tip pens. And then this one I called Motivation. See if you can see where the inspiration comes from in that. Again, felt tip pens. There's a slight saliva smudge on there, unfortunately, but I guess it has my DNA forever trapped inside there. I might make this into a bigger painting. Quite like how this went. Yeah, somewhat Art Deco inspired. And then this one is called You Will Always Come Back. And that has a personal meaning to me. Whether it has a meaning to you or not, I don't know. This one was a bit more rushed, let's say. I quite like how it looks, but how it makes me feel, I don't like. So we'll skip past that one. This one I called Balance. This is maybe the first time I delved into pencil for a long time before those other ones. But yeah, let's try and get those creases out. Almost. I guess you can sort of get the gist of it there. There we go. Yeah, that's Balance. For a picture called Balance, it's quite unbalanced. Thought it was fun. And then this is one that I did whilst I was back at the caravan in that first month or so. This is whilst my head was quite messy. I feel like that's reflected very much on this picture. I like these bits here, the lines and how that comes about. Let's see what that one's called. I don't think I named it. No, I didn't name it. No name. Do you know what? I'm going to call that Spaghetti. Maybe just Spag. Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's kind of most of my creative output for the last year. I can't remember the last time I was this prolific, which is nice. At one point I just got up and I told myself I was in a bout of some kind of depression. How hard is it to just get the paint out and put it on a canvas? You know? It really was that easy. It was just as easy as starting. You can spend ages deliberating and contemplating and all you need is action. That's all you need. Yeah, so if you're ever struggling with your inspiration, your creativity, rather than worrying about where your inspiration is going to come from, just start. Just get out whatever creative medium you align with and just start. And if you make one line, stop, fair enough. Step back. 9 times out of 10, you'll make another line, and then another and another, or you'll play one note and then another and another. I mean, like yesterday, I tried playing some guitar and I played one little thing and that was it. I didn't feel any inclination to play more. I did play a little bit more, but I thought, do you know what, I'm not feeling it today. And today I just got up and started playing. It was great. Yeah, I think there's something to be learned from that. What's this one? I thought this might have been another picture. It's just a work in progress. Yeah, I like that one there. Might as well show the other work in progress. And this weird fish thing that I bought at the charity shop. How's this for a dinner plate? Or a dinner mat even. If anybody speaks Chinese, I think that's Chinese. It's either Chinese or kanji, I don't know. If anybody speaks that language, please tell me what that says. I would love to know. Okay, the shadow work's in progress, and there's one final picture I want to show you. This one I started at Christmas as well. We'll see how that goes. There's a small telephone in there of some kind. Spider-Man of the Nth Dimension. This is just with felt tips. I remember watching some Ozzy Osbourne clips whilst doing this one. I'll paint over that with acrylics. This one, a work in progress. You can see it's slowly building up. There's quite a lot more to go on it. It's one of these that I've been doing for a while, as well as it was in the same series as Wart. So that's how I started that one. I was watching a lot of Stingray while I was doing these ones actually. And finally, I don't know how I feel about this. Something is compelling me to leave it like this. Something's also compelling me to do more. Yeah, you can see why I might not be happy with that. But I don't know, let me know if that's like up your street. It gives me child scribbling on paper vibes, but you know, maybe that's what somebody's into. If you like this, let me know. If not, if I don't get any feedback on that, I'll probably paint over it in some kind of way. This one says no on it. I've been hesitant to show it, but there's this one, which again, it's one of those paintings I don't like, but it's the kind of thing where somebody might say, but I call it no because I don't like it. But you know, I'm experimenting with different things. There's lots of things that I do that I don't like that other people seem to like, so just kind of throwing shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. Yeah, if this video was of any enjoyment to yourselves, or if you learned anything from it, feel free to comment, tell me what you think. If you liked the paintings and you'd like to purchase something, drop me a message. We'll see if we can sort something. But until next time, stay groovy. If I can hit the button.